online, all the platforms. Online, all the platforms. All right. X is here. YouTube is here. I'm on a new streaming platform, so please be patient with me as I figure it all out. Using Riverside. Give me one more minute to get everything in order here. I gotta figure out how to share the screen. All right. I think I got it. All right. Welcome to episode 3 of the 12 Red Flags series, the Tuesday series I didn't do last week. Got a little carried away with some other things, so I'm glad to be back. My name is David. I'm a plain-spoken 30-year tech veteran who lost money in crypto and now show regular people how to not get wrecked. I do that because helping you helps me. It's nice to be altruistic and kind, which I always want to be, but at the end of the day, if you succeed in crypto, I succeed in crypto. 2 weeks ago, last episode, we talked about red flags 4, 5, and 6. Today, the 3 that would have saved me the most. Red flag 7, 8, and 9. Red flag 7 is anonymous teams and doxing trap. Like there's no set formula. You really need to take the nuance into effect on anonymous teams and doxing. Red flag number 8 is suspicion token distribution. We'll talk a little bit about that and where tokens are and how they could be released, and missing or fake security audits. I'll show you how to spot these, and how to understand them so that you can stay away from anything that you shouldn't get into. These 3 red flags appear in 90% of the projects that have exit scams, that are rug pulls. So they're really important to know what and when to look for. Like I said earlier, they're also the most misunderstood. The doxing, well, we'll get into it. I'll show you when to worry and I'll show you when not to. I'm going to give you real examples, live demos, and by the end, I hope that you have a clear checklist. Let's get started with the anonymous team. This is the one that most people struggle with. Anonymous teams with a twist. It isn't always a red flag. Anonymous teams can be legitimate. Docs can be fake. It's more nuanced than people think. The real question is, are they anonymous for a good reason or for bad reasons? Anonymous is actually fine, and here's some good reasons to have anonymity. Regulatory concerns, especially if you're in a regulated country. There are places that just don't want anything to do with crypto or people questioning or trying to sidestep banks. Personal safety. Some countries ban crypto development. Some people have big giant wallets that are doing a lot of stuff, and they don't want to be seen. They don't want to be found because the wrench is mightier than the hack. Oh, someone's stealing a car. No, they're not stealing it. And if someone knows that you have a lot of money in a crypto wallet, they could, rob it pretty easily if they know who you are and where you live. An established reputation can make a difference. Satoshi was anonymous. No one knows to this day who it was, and thank goodness that he did what he did and did it the way he did. The Uniswap team was initially anonymous, and they're one of the biggest or the biggest in DeFi uh, decks in the world. Uh, Technical focus. When the code speaks louder than the personalities, that's okay. Stay hidden and do whatever you need to. But thinking about those things and knowing that when it's okay is important to know. Now let's talk about when it's not okay. When anonymous is bad. You have no previous track record, no reputation. When you're asking for a ton of money up front, you're not showing them yourself, you're not showing the people you're asking for money who you are, what you're doing. That's a big red flag. Uh, Promising crazy returns. There was a time when lots of protocols were Ponzi schemes offering, 1% a day, 2% a day, and people were making a lot of money on them. I made a lot of money on them some days. Other days I lost a lot of money on them. I think hopefully I'm about even, maybe up a little bit. But, when someone's telling you 1% a day and not showing you who they are, run away. If there's no way to contact them, there's no one to hold accountable, their Discord is just a bunch of fanboys talking about what's going on, or the project is complex enough that you need to know who you're talking with and dealing with, and trust matters. Let me figure out how to share the screen and we'll look at some GitHub. I have to share a Chrome tab. Now, how do I add me to that? Oh, well, maybe I'm there. This is I mentioned them earlier, the Uniswap team was totally anonymous, and now look at them, this giant GitHub with pages and pages and pages, 100 pages of repos and software and open code, high action, everything going on. It's hard to ignore what's happening here. You don't need to be technical to know that there's 12,000 repositories and 27,000 issues, and 44,000 people are pulling the software to enhance it or to study it or to do whatever they want. There's discussions going on, and there's 444 users contributing to what is Uniswap. This open source repository of their software makes it very clear to me that they're not hiding anything, and that's an important sign. Seeing all of this, if they stayed anonymous, that's okay in this case, because I see that there's tons happening and a lot going on. If we look at, who go back to anonymous teams, like who created Uniswap, and I just go to the Uniswap page. Let me go back one. And go to about, and there should be pictures, there should be people, there should be names. This is a very established protocol, but still the principal's name is here. And if I copy that and look anywhere, right, if I search Hayden Adams social media, here's his Twitter, here's his Instagram, we can look and see what's going on. What are the posts like on X? He hasn't posted for a year. I think a lot of people sort of quit X when Elon went off his meds. But a lot of people stayed. He has a lot of followers. This is a real person, and I can totally tell what's going on here. So that's a way to check on if someone's anonymous, if someone's should be doxed and is, or if somebody shouldn't be doxed and is. We need to know those things so that we can make informed decisions. Now I'm going to quit sharing my screen again. I'm sorry, this tool is a little trickier than StreamYard. Here's the trap that got me. Just because someone shows their face doesn't mean that they're legitimate. I've invested in projects with fully doxed teams who still exit scammed. Carlos Matos, Do Kwon, they were docked. SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried, he was on the cover of magazines. The real rule that you have to think about is look at the track record, look at the incentives. Don't just identify the person. Now, how do I apply this? I have a checklist for my team evaluation that I use before I put a penny into any protocol or even a DeFi LP. I make sure that the people are doxxed, or if they're not, they have a good reason. I look for previous success. I look that they have skin in the game, that they own their own tokens, that they're locked. I want like responsive communication. I'll go to the Discord. I'll ask a question. Do they answer it fast? Is it just a bot and then nothing? Make sure that the incentives are aligned. Do they want to make us money because they're going to make money when we make money? That's the good sign. So those are just some of the things about red flag number 7 and anonymous teams. Hope that makes a little bit of sense. Red flag number 8 is suspicion token distribution. We talked a little bit about this just by where are the tokens and are they locked. This is all about who owns it, what the percentage is, what they can sell, what's locked and unavailable, what will be released in a future date. If the team owns more than 20% and there's no vesting schedule, meaning that 2% of that is released every quarter or every month or whatever, that's a bad sign. If the top 10 wallets own more than 50% of the supply, run away. They could just dump at any time and wait till the price is high and get all they can and leave you holding the bag. Don't be someone's exit liquidity. If there's a private sale and those investors can immediately dump, same thing. That's just all part of this all working together. But any one of these is a red flag, let alone if there's more than one. And if there's no clear transparency about who has the tokens, how many there are, and what price they're in at, be very, very careful. How can I show this? Oh, I know. I'm going to show you Etherscan. We'll look at holders. We did this a little bit a couple of weeks ago, but it's worth looking at again. I'm going to I just realized every time I changed tabs in the last demo, nobody saw anything because I'm only sharing a tab. But if you look, this is Etherscan, etherscan.io. Ethereum certainly has a lot of quality pools and stuff. So I want to just look by top tokens. BNB on Ethereum. I don't know why I went to that. That's a confusing example. Let's just look at Tether. This is a stable coin pegged to the dollar. If you look at holders, this will tell you where it all is. Binance Hot Wallet, we know that that's a contract, so that's a little bit different. It's money that's getting bridged back and forth between Binance and Ethereum, and all of these are contracts. can see the tags. The first user, another bridge. The first user is this person right here, and they have 1.24% of all of the stablecoin, the Tether. That's well below the threshold of anything to worry about. So I think that we're okay. I don't know how to find I'm sorry, my second screen is above here. I'm trying to find a token on Ethereum that's new that might be questionable. Let me take a quick look. Sorry. Here's a little dog token. All right, back to Etherscan. Let's see if we can find a token that's less awesome. So there's two things. There's a contract address and a token for the thing. So if you change the word address up here to token, oh, then you'll see that there is 1 billion of the total supply. We can look at the holders here and see that this is Uniswap. That's a contract. The first user has 5%. That's pushing it. The top 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 have 5, 9, 13, 15, 17%. That's pretty iffy. If you add one more, you're over 20. This is really dangerous. Because if you spent $10,000, you'd have probably less than 1% of all of the tokens. So all that it takes is for one of these people to decide to sell because the price has doubled or tripled from, nothing, a hundredth, a thousandth of a penny to a 200th of a penny. That's a pretty big increase if you have, 60 million of them. And that person decides to sell 50 million of them. And it's all over for you. Then you just have to sit there and hold on forever and hope that it comes back one day, which I guess it can, but it may not. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my shared screen, and the screen I'm sharing is super small. I'd like to flip that. I'm going to stop sharing and we'll talk some more. So what does good distribution look like? I sort of showed you the team allocation is under 15%, and it's not all released or available. On the website for any token, you can usually find the vesting and token distribution. If you can't, be careful. We don't want any wallet that owns 5%, and that token that we showed, the top wallet owned a little more than 5%. That's scary. The allocations on the website, if they're not there, if it's not clear how many tokens there are, we see there was 1 billion tokens of that one, and how they were distributed on their website needs to be equal 1 billion, or it's just make-believe. You've heard of pump.fun or meme coin launch pads. If you haven't, we'll talk about them one day. But there's got to be a fair launch or a public sale. We can't just have private rounds going to investors and you sitting on the sidelines buying pennies while they're dumping on your heads. And we had that vesting period is really important, and that should be on their site. Red flag number 9 is a little bit tough. It's missing or fake security audits. But I've been sort of backtracking a little bit on audits. Audits are really important, and you should never invest in a product that isn't audited by a popular company. And again, this is all on their website, and you can find if Certic did it or who did the audit, and look at the results. You could take those results and have AI look at them and see if there's anything concerning, and AI will score them just fine. And it's worth doing. But the problem is that an audit a year ago doesn't help you today. It lets you know that it started off pretty good, or that last time it was audited it was pretty good, but things can change all the time. Now there's companies that are offering audits as a service, and they're continually monitoring for anything that comes up, and that's going to have to be the future of where we go with audits. There's like so many things that an audit is good for. There's like super complex smart contracts and novel mechanisms like looping or delta neutral, or a lot of different things that can happen. It tends to be audits happen on new protocols and new projects, so that new code isn't battle tested. So it's really important, and I would say absolutely imperative for me, before I give my money to somebody, that they have an audit. Like I said, I've been backpedaling a little bit because I want to consider when that audit was and what's happened between then and now. And I think that that's an important thing to know and do. I'm going to try to find a real audit report. Share my screen, but I would want to share it big. So I want to figure that out too. All right, I'm going to try to share this. This is just the first one that came up in a search. Sorry, I'm still looking for my settings, and so that I can change how this looks so you can see it bigger. This is a security audit. Let's see who did it. Oh, sorry, Hashlock did it. They're a reputable company. We don't need to go through a lot of it, but if you just pop this link into AI, or you download these 100 or 37 pages and pop them into your ChatGPT and tell it to analyze this and see if there's anything you should be concerned about, it will give you everything that you need to know. Take a few minutes and you get used to understanding it and what's going on. But it's just a well-written document that gives you everything that you need to know. So it's a secure audit, a secure platform it looks like. I'm going to see if there's any red flags or anything that was flagged. You know, companies usually won't pay a few $1,000s to have their contract audited until it's in good shape. So far this is everything achieves the functionality that's targeted. Okay, here's a couple of medium security findings. Nothing really big. This is implements re-entrancy guard upgradable. So this means that the software is upgradable, but not on these different contracts. So there's apparently 5 contracts that are getting reviewed here. One of them has that security and the others don't. I'm not going to go through this whole thing to see if there's any more medium risk concerns, or all of these are. Anyway, again, I'm sorry that I can't figure out how to make the screen I'm sharing the big one. I keep learning and I keep getting better. I hope. I mean, I guess if this is good, how bad could the last ones have been? If this is better. So find the report, put it through ChatGPT, verify that the auditing firm is real and that they're not just a company that somebody made up. Check if the critical issues or what critical issues were found and if they were fixed. A lot of them will show you that. This one that we just found was a pretty safe one. Like I said, before you pay someone to audit your software, you're going to make sure that it's running good. Look for the most recent audit. That's the one you want to check. And multiple audits from different firms is even better. That's someone that really cares about security and what they're putting forward. So to wrap it up, that's 3 new red flags that we talked about. You can go to CryptoClarityCollective.com, the DeFi opportunities page, and scan against all 12 red flags, any DeFi pool that you're considering putting money into, and it'll return the results, good, bad, or indifferent, and let you know in minutes what we've taken now hours to talk about, and we're not even all the way through. Next week we'll finish with red flags 10, 11, and 12, and then I'll ask you to put in the comments what you'd like to talk about next. Where should we go from here? So, again, how could these flags have saved me money? BitConnect was absolutely a public-facing team. They had no track record, but they had terrible token distribution. The LP drain is, suspicious token distribution. How does the price just go straight down when only one wallet is selling? It's because they have most of the coins. A fake audit, a near rug pull that I barely escaped with my capital because I just happened to wake up at the right time and check my position. Concentrated ownership, These are the things that we have to watch out for. So before you invest, research the team. Anonymous is fine if they have a reputation or a good reason to be anonymous. Be smart. Check the token distribution. We want to avoid heavily concentrated wallets or um, token distribution that's all at once or heavily, in favor of, one wallet. We want to verify the audits, make sure that they're real from real companies and recent. And you know, you could pass 10 of the red flags and 2 of them are bad. You need to be careful. You could pass all of the red flags and still need to be careful. So it's important to me that everybody kind of understands the nuance and all that we're talking about. Next week, we're going to come back with 10, 11, 12, the last in this series, and we are going to look at the social signals and uh, what that means and how communities create FOMO and things like that. And it'll be a good one. Be sure to come back. I'll be better at this tool, and we'll all be better off for it. Before you leave, please subscribe to our newsletter. It's free if you'd like it. If you'd like the Monday edition, Crypto Fundamentals, for $9 a month, you not only get the Wednesday and Friday editions of the newsletter, which have deep dives into DeFi protocols and current and updated security alerts and information, but you also get unlimited DeFi pool scans at cryptoclaritycollective.com. So please subscribe, even for the free one. Subscribe to YouTube. Make sure that you get alerted when we're coming live and when new shorts come out almost every day. Add any questions to the comments. I read every single one of them. And I can't wait to see you Thursday for DeFi 101. Next Tuesday, we'll wrap up the red flags. Thank you very much. I hope that you have a wonderful day. Thanks for putting up with me. And we'll stay safe out there. See you Thursday.